We're starting with the issue of small businesses surviving under a reforming economy. Nigeria has been going through a lot of reform since last year. The president did say he is a reformer and he is here to change things and, of course, normalize things. That what we're doing before he came to power was not in real terms how economy should be managed. So he is trying to put Nigeria on the right path of growth and indeed development. But what is the impact of all of these reforms to the survival of small businesses, which in many climes are the hallmark or the bedrock of economic development? And I have joining me from Mina in Niger State, Dorothy Nuhu-Akenova. He is an entrepreneur and, of course, a very prominent figure in the 2023 presidential election. Good morning, Mrs. Dorothy.
Good morning. Happy to be with you again. Hello,
all right. You are a business person. You run a business. Tell us, how has it been with you in the last 1 year?
Tough. It's been really tough. It's been like running all around the place to catch up with changes, but one running out of breath because the changes seem to be spewing out rather very fast, and it is difficult to keep the pace. And when the buyer purchasing power is challenged, is compromised, when people are compelled to do survival prioritization, businesses enter big trouble. So at this point, I can't help but think that there is a deliberate attempt, maybe not known to our leaders within our immediate environment, but maybe a bigger agenda to swallow up small-scale enterprises so that bigger companies can thrive.
Tell us, what kind of survival strategy have you adopted to stay afloat? There are many SMEs that are actually waiting to hear what you have adopted so that they can actually, copy from what you have done.
I think number one thing that has gone right for me is flexibility, such that one has a way of moving on to one form of transactions to the other. It's very important that we don't stay rigid. We have to keep pace with changes in the market to know what is moving and to know where to shift our capital. We can't say because we are doing foodstuff, so we must stick to foodstuff. Look for some other thing, animal husbandry. If that becomes too expensive because feeding them is expensive, move the capital. Now is farming season, rounding up. During farming season, we put some investment in farming. We withdrew resources from cement, for example, from the goat farm and some of the piggery that we have and put into farming. So we were able to cultivate, 7 hectares of land. So we need to just wake up and be alert and look for options where we can move our capital to, so we don't become extinct. The other thing is, of course, doing market survey, because we don't have a system in place in Nigeria that does that survey for medium, small scale enterprises. And so we have to do it ourselves. So what contacts do you have out there? Who can you call to ask questions? For example, I wanted to buy groundnuts and I had to check around, where are groundnuts cheaper? I realized that in one place, you can get it 200 naira more expensive per mudu than other place. And you need to feed the animals with some of these things. So you have to do your survey yourself, put a call through. And now we have AI gadgets on our WhatsApp. That AI has been extraordinary. All I need to do is go to AI, put in a question, and the AI responds in real time, giving me comparisons from one location to the other. So it is important for us to be internet savvy. Even though we may be nano business scale people, we may be small enterprises, medium scale, but we have to have love for modern technology in communication, because that has been very helpful for me. But I can't help but feel for people who are in rural areas, who are compromised by access to the internet. You go to some places, you do a transfer with your app on the phone, and the transaction is hanging, and you can't let go of your goods. So what do? You know, so all of those places still have challenges, especially those in far rural areas, hard to reach areas.
Indeed, there are quite a whole lot of suggestions there. I'm sure a lot of businesses are actually listening to you, and of course, they'll actually pick one or two things that you have pointed out there. Let's look at the MSME's now contribution to GDP. According to ILO, International Labour Organization, small businesses make up 96% of all businesses in Nigeria, and it contributed 48% to the country's GDP. Do you see the collapse or the demise of some businesses be responsible for the slow growth in the economy in the last 1 year?
Yes, the challenges have kind of scuttled the efforts of nano businesses and small scale, medium scale enterprises. Some of them have, before you can do your business with 5,000 naira. Now what do you do with 5,000 naira? With this, everything linked to exchange rate. So many businesses at that level have been scuttled. They have fizzled out. They have died. And that is impacting on the general GDP because, like you have said, small scale enterprises, these have large spread, they have wide reach, they make the larger percentage of the business environment. And that is where the people are. And so when those spaces are compromised, when those businesses die, can you imagine 48% of GDP of the nation coming from this? Of course, the impact will be felt greatly, especially because women who are extreme good managers are the majority of the 96% of people inside the businesses that are small scale, nano scale, medium scale. So you can imagine when all of those women have to shut their shops. It means that the little money that turns around on a daily basis is not going around. And there is nothing truer in that adage than money. What goes round comes round.
Absolutely there. Let's look at what government is doing in a way to help small businesses stay afloat. The issue of credit facilities. Banks have actually been big on, government has been big on commercial banks with regards to how they give out credit to small businesses. Do you think having access to credit will in any way help some of these businesses that are going through challenges right now?
It would help only if other components are strengthened. One, we have to eliminate the, red tape bureaucracies that put delay and cause, untold hardship in terms of time spent running up and down to access these businesses. We have to address the patriarchal values that impinge women from easy access and from encouragement to build businesses. We have to make sure that all these business hubs are actually set up and that they are actually moving, actively impacting on those who are in business. We've heard about hubs being established, but we don't know per state how many. Even when you go online and you search, the data is not there. We need to have these hubs up and do. In fact, they should have been in place before all the economic changes, so that people in business can run to those spaces and get their capacity enhanced. They can also obtain data. They can have linkages with other business partners. They can share experiences. They can acquire skills on bookkeeping, on financial management, on using the internet. They can also have conversations around access to markets if they have to collaborate and build cooperatives so that facilitates the work they are doing. All of these components need to come together before that loan, the soft loans, can work. If the loans on their own are issued and capacity is lacking, as I have listed, then we are going nowhere with this.
Indeed, I mean, the government needs to do more than just allowing access to credit. If I should take from what you said, would you just say that the policies of this government are just the reason why small businesses are going down, given the fact that as in 2022, many people have actually alluded to the fact that the Naira redesign was also a big problem that small business faced at a time when Naira was so difficult to access by small business owners. Do you agree to that?
Well, the policies are impacting on small businesses, that is true. Sometimes they are not even directly from government, but indirectly from government. Let's take the example about these fuel price hikes. We haven't fully adjusted to the one that we inaugurated the government with. The palliatives have not sunk down to the grassroots level. Then we are slammed with another increment. My question has been, was there a proper assessment, evaluation to ensure that the palliatives have reached the people before this new increment in fuel price? Now the market women like myself, people who are in business, they have to now start calculating, how do I break even? People who are doing transport business are calculating with the hours I spend in the queue, the fuel I finally get, how much would I charge a passenger to break even? And the woman who's gone to the farm has brought the products to the market. How much is she selling her corn or her groundnuts or her okra, tomatoes and peppers for her to break even? And by the time she's doing that calculation, because she doesn't have the skill, she's not affiliated to a hub to help her do that. She's already losing money. And before she gets the hang of things, her capital has fizzled into the air. So these policies have adverse impact until we are intentional about building and strengthening the components required for businesses to thrive at this level. Then we will continue to bury lots of businesses on a daily basis. Imagine that the data is that how many businesses we have 1 million businesses for all the 774 LGAs in Nigeria. That is how much they want to help, you know. But if you look at it, divide 1 million by 774.
Absolutely.
What do you have? It means that only 1,291 businesses will be accessing what the government is giving out.
All right.
So it is not impactful enough.
All right. All right. I must thank you so much. I wanted to ask about the cost of fuel in Niger State, where you are. I don't know how much is the cost of PMS there.
Well, you have to cough out like 1,300 in some filling stations, 1,500 in some others before you can get per liter.
Wow, that's quite a whole lot. I must thank you, Dorothy Nuhu-Akenova, an entrepreneur and, of course, a very prominent player in the 2023 presidential election. I must thank you for your contribution on Business Daily today.
Thank you, Yusuf, and I wish all my colleagues in the business atmosphere best of luck as we proceed.
Thank you so much.